Okay, are you ready? How do you feel?
If something happens to us, the whole history of EKOenergy is gone, eh?
This is gonna be good.
Steve.
Riku first.
A long time environmental activist, like committed my life to change the world.
Yeah.
Worked for EKOenergy for, I don't know, 10 years or so.
We can copy paste because it's almost the same for me. I am also a long time environmental activist, originally from Belgium. They say that to take away the worries or the concerns about the state of the world, action is the best remedy. So I always have had this feeling I need to communicate, I need to act, I need to do something. And then I migrated to Finland and I met Riku as coincidentally. We were like a magnet, yeah, attracted. Like the first person.
Yeah, first like that, and then as magnets, like how you. But the story of EKOenergy doesn't start where I was when I started or when Steven started, but it's much longer. Like 1991 already in Finland there was discussion going on about the like green electricity markets. There was when the liberalization of the electricity market started in Europe, first in Norway and then in Sweden and Finland, and it became possible for people to choose an electricity provider and to choose whether they buy renewables or something else, like mixed electricity. And in order to make the system reliable, you needed some kind of a body who is checking that the companies are not selling more renewables than they are producing. And that body became Luonnonsuojeluliitto, this Finnish Association for Nature Conservation, which is now the host organization for EKOenergy. And that started already in 1995. And a national eco-label called Norpa Energia label was founded already in 1995. So some of the hydropower stations, what the organizations here were campaigning against, was sold in Belgium as very ecological electricity. And I thought that it can't be like that. That you can't have, like, the environmental movement can't be doing something else in Belgium or in France or in Norway or depending on the country, that we need to work together and to get a better understanding, because also the companies and electricity companies are cooperating, and that is how we decided that we need actually not a national eco-label for electricity, but a global one. And that's like how it started.
Yeah, and then the first basically 2 years of this, when I was here, we continued, yeah, this with lots of internet meetings. Long before Corona, we were already with Skype and all other programs, basically the whole day. Yeah, we have interviewed so many people, and then we drafted the criteria. We were also thinking, how can we collect around us more people to help us, and how can we engage others? How can we make it so attractive that people spontaneously join and do things? And one of the things we started to work to do that was working with volunteers. Yeah? So we brought to our office young people from other countries to help us in Spanish and in Russian too.
About that, do you remember who was the first volunteer? There was a certain guy called Steven Vanholme. He contacted and said that this is so cool and this is so important, and I'm so motivated that I can volunteer.
We had lots of ideas and no money, so but I believed in this project. I said we can really get something off the ground here, and then we joined this European Solidarity Corps program. And that has really helped us also a lot to stay in close contact with many people Europe-wide in many different languages. From the very beginning of what we did, we translated our texts to French and to Spanish and to German, because we were aware that many of those we wanted to convince, they don't necessarily speak English. But we would not have been able to do that without volunteers.
But the basic idea from the very beginning was, I think that we had like two goals. One was to increase the amount of renewables, so to make renewables more profitable. And the other one was to get an understanding for normal people about like the sustainability criteria. It's very important to understand like when a company is making a big investment in a new power station or a wind park, there are a lot of things on the background which are influencing in the decision making whether I make the investment or not, or if I'm replacing a certain fossil fuel with renewable. So there's a big, it's a lot of things which are influencing this decision making, and it's never so that it was one thing which made it to happen. And ecolabel is just like one aspect on the background.
Yeah, we designed EKOenergy, as you said, as a tool to do things, and we are part of the Finnish Nature Conservation. We are also working in close cooperation with other environmental organizations. We try to communicate about things that are relevant for us, about stopping fossil fuels, about the possibility to switch to 100% renewable, about the nature impact. It's also a fundraising tool, as you say, and we do things which makes it easier to get our goals and to reach our objectives as a nature conservation organization. The label is a tool to tell about us, but the label is indeed also a tool to get in touch with lots of companies we would otherwise not get in touch with. Yeah? There are companies from the energy sector that contact us because they want to know more. Let's also make sure that by buying renewable energy in Europe, we also can promote renewable energy markets outside Europe. We have, as a label, worked a lot in Russia already at that time. We also, our label is a tool to finance renewable energy projects in developing countries where otherwise probably not much would happen.
And what becomes more and more important is the sustainability of the renewables, and this is where the ecolabels make a big difference to the normal market situation. So we can make sure that the electricity what you are buying is coming from sustainable renewable energy sources. And the River Restoration Fund is an other example where you get very, very concrete results. That's like the most important fund for restoring rivers in Finland at the moment. So like over the years, I don't know the exact amount now, but over €1 million for projects.
But there are many more things. Convincing companies to switch to renewable is also by itself already an achievement. And if they don't choose EKOenergy, the better. But also how we influence, less directly, less visibly, but through political action, also on legislation. There are many examples there, but just to give again the Russian example, we were one of the first NGOs or actors in general to say it has to be possible for Western European companies who are active in Russia to buy renewable energy there too. We have to help them, we have to promote, there have to be ways to find, to allow green energy contracts and to allow investments in renewable energy in Russia. Other concrete results, I would say, is how we help consumers to communicate about renewable energy. When we started, the early days, in each company or in many companies there was like one person in charge of renewable, and it was still a side job, and we didn't even dare to say too much about this idea of 100% renewable, because people would say, this is impossible, or you are crazy. We would undermine the label if we say too much and too loud 100% renewable. And only 8 years later, large companies are talking about renewable energy. Companies are publicly saying that they will stop their fossil fuel departments, and so this has changed a lot.
People were claiming that we are radicals. And now, if we think about our ideas like 10 years ago, it's nothing radical. It's like what's happening now.
It's what's happening now. We don't need to explain anymore what renewable is.
And sometimes we need a huge change compared to 10 years ago is the tracking mechanism. Like guarantees of origin are now used all over Europe as the only tool to track the origin of renewable electricity. 10 years ago it was definitely not like that. It was like different the systems in different countries, and
we have definitely, when it comes to climate and renewable energy as a society, not done enough. That's obvious. Yeah, we have failed on many fronts, but luckily we have always had people who show that other things can be done, and a bit more. And thanks to these, renewable energies have broken through and have become profitable. I mean, we would not have renewable energy at the current costs if nobody would have invested in them sooner. Yeah, renewable energy, we often forget that it's a technology, yeah, and the technology becomes cheaper the more you use it, or the more you have of it. It's not a scarce resource. And that was true already in the 90s. Yeah? If we would have invested more and if more people would have used it and if it would have been more forced, then it would all have taken off sooner. But we do what we can. And our label is nowadays also a tool to tell people you can, with the more can be done. Let's speed up.
Yes, thank you.
And the coolers are not fake, are real.
You can
have some of yourselves.
Yeah, but I didn't want to eat on the video. That's fake, yeah.
Is it good?
It's made with EKOenergy.
Yeah, it's of course the first.